Critical path method has a schedule optimization metric called critical path drag. Critical path drag is the amount of time that could potentially be saved on the project by reducing the duration of the activity or removing the activity completely. To reduce the duration of our project, we need to understand optimization of which activities will enable us the acceleration of the project. And the next step is to identify how much time can we get by optimizing each activity on the critical path. So the first and the last activities, they do not have any parallel activities, hence drag is equal to the duration of these activities. The drag for the first activity is 5 days, and the drag for the last activity is 3 days. The activity of the 10 days duration is also on the critical path, but it has some other activities running in parallel. So if we reduce the duration of this activity by more than 3 days, this activity will stop being on the critical path because there will be other tasks on the critical path. The drag of this activity is 3 days. As we know, the logic in the real scheduling world is much more complicated, and drag calculation is not that simple. So it's great when you can apply the tools to help with critical path drag calculation. Spider project can calculate critical path drag. First of all, let's bring into the view a column. Go to the table header, right-click, Show Columns, and search for a column called drag. There are two columns, drag in days and drag in hours. For our example, I'm going to select drag in days column. So this is where all the critical path drag calculation results will be shown. And the next step is to go and calculate the drag. So go to the main menu calculation, select simple scheduling options, go to the reserves area, and just tick the box calculate drag. Please note that the drag could be calculated based on number of calendars. The default is the activity calendar. You can alternatively select the project main calendar or even the 24-hour calendar. After you've set up this parameters, go OK and click this simple scheduling. So the tool will calculate the drag and bring the results into the column drag in days. So for example, if we look at the sand and crush stone transportation task here, which is on the critical path, and the drag is 2 days, which means that we can only reduce that activity by 2 days to enable project duration reduction. So if we reduce that task by more than 2 days, it won't make any difference to the project duration. Also, we can apply the scheduling with a resource constraint scheduling. This is where the tool will calculate the critical paths driven by resource constraints, and the drag calculation will be different in that case. So if we apply the resource constraint scheduling, the tool will calculate that for us, and you can see immediately that for this activity it's not on a critical path anymore, and there will be other activities on a critical path maybe because there's resource constraints. Hence the drag, the critical path drag calculation numbers will also be different in that case.